This is a beginner tutorial to deploy a Plotly Dash application to Leapcell. We're using the free tier of Leapcell. Plotly does have a cloud, but I actually didn't understand the pricing and it wasn't clear whether it was free forever. So Leapcell, I've used it and they have a number of these services that can be added for free. I've already deployed the application to GitHub in the previous video. So we first need to connect Leapcell to GitHub. And I'm going to add a new source. So I'll show you I deleted the application so I can show you the full workflow here. So I've just added it. And we have a deploy configuration now. It's going to automatically download it from GitHub. I just selected this one repo. Because Leapcell uses Unicorn with a G, I'm going to use the app.server of the Dash application. I'm going to set it to a Python variable called server. And then I'm going to add and commit this thing and push it up to GitHub. The process is that you push it up to GitHub. You could automate this, but I'm just showing it you manually right now. And then you'll sync it up with Leapcell automatically. After you get it working, you can focus on a more automated workflow. In the Leapcell service settings, I'm going to leave it as Flask for a Python application. I'm using Python 3.12. I don't think it matters. In the start command, I'm going to start it with Unicorn with a G, app, and then this :server. I'm going to bind it to the port 0.0.0 or the IP address 0.0.0 at port 8080. I'm going to leave the build command with pip because I had some problems installing it with UV on Leapcell in the past. So instead of trying to use the UV pyproject.toml file, I'm going to use the UV pip compile pyproject.toml with no dependencies. So notice I'm using no dependencies. Output to requirements.txt. I'm going to test it or just look at it on the console to see that it contains the dependencies I want. Then I'm going to add it with git space add space, and then in this case the dot is just the local directory. Commit it, and then I pushed it up to GitHub. Now it's synced up with GitHub. I'm going to sync it up with Leapcell. It usually does this automatically, but I'm going to force the manual deploy here. Deploy the latest from GitHub because I already have the linkage between GitHub and Leapcell. And then it's going to do the build. It'll do the deploy, and hopefully then we'll be able to see the app. I fast forwarded through the build. It does take maybe a minute. And you can see the logs if you log into Leapcell as it's doing the build. And it looks like it gave us a URL. I just clicked on the URL. It does work. I've had some problems with the Leapcell subdomain in the past where it's being identified as like a security risk because it's a free service. And I think a lot of malicious people might also want to abuse the service. Hopefully they stop doing that. It makes it difficult for the rest of us. A solution would be to get your own domain and put a custom domain on the Leapcell service. It usually works okay for a while, and then maybe there's some problems, and then eventually the URL, I guess the browsers realize that you're not a threat, and it will start working again. Thank you for joining us on our journey here. We're looking for feedback. We're thinking of building a course here. It would be a free course that would combine career advice and the overview of the tech tools, technology tools, and the workflow for data sciences that's used in the industry. Our idea is to produce research reports on what the current state of the tech industry is in the United States and what attributes lead people to get tech jobs, combine that with project-based course and make it freely available to everyone. Sharing some of our ideas for the concept of the course on YouTube is the first step. If we have interest, we will continue with the course. So drop us feedback, or I guess we can also just use the likes on the video as a method of gauging whether there's interest in this material or not. Have a great day.